I know that everybody's dog is special, but our Ellie is simply on another rock. She's remarkably courageous and has never met a stranger, including those she can't chase. From the time we first fell in love with Ellie at a rural rescue shelter in southeastern Kentucky, she's embraced adventure. She likes to travel, vacationing with the family in 14 states in less than 3 years. But she's never traveled alone and had never shown any desire to until a few weeks ago. Maybe it was the long, cold winter or watching others on the move, but something changed Ellie this year. She got restless and was often unfriendly, even to her own siblings. And one cold night in front of the fire, she revealed her problems. Ellie had learned about a world beyond her backyard, and she wanted to tour it like a Victorian man of letters, shedding the comfortable, finding herself, and contemplating life. We resisted her pleas initially, but when she showed us her ambitious plans and promised to send us daily postcards from all her stops, we relented, and off Ellie went. This was the first time she had ever flown, but Ellie would experience a lot of firsts on her trip and spare no expense in doing it. A Disney cruise to the Bahamas would normally satisfy any spring breaker, but not Ellie. From the cruise ship, she went to Arizona for a desert visit with her grandmother and her aunt, a NASCAR fan who arranged a different kind of cruise for Ellie, a spin around the Phoenix Raceway. Ellie would probably be the first dog to ever do that, but I don't think she liked the ride. From Arizona, it was a short hop to California to visit an old family friend whom Ellie had never met. Joel introduced her to the Pacific Ocean, took her to an aquarium where she watched scuba divers in a gigantic tank, and then shared his love of the California wine country. Ellie saw the Golden Gate Bridge before she boarded another plane, this one a huge 787, for a visit to Hawaii. She stayed at a fancy coastal hotel for 3 days, watching surfers and soaking up the Hawaiian sunshine. But there, somebody told her about volcanoes, and she was soon off to the Philippines to see a smoker in action. By this time, all of the family sorely missed Ellie, and with the Indiana spring weather improving, we thought she'd soon be home. But Ellie wasn't finished. Her next postcard came from the other side of the world. She explained that she just wanted to see Italy while she was young enough to appreciate the romance of the place. Of course, she had a similar argument to justify a side trip to Paris and then to London. We had just about decided to look for another dog. We heard a familiar scratching at our back door. At last, our Ellie was home. No longer restless, no longer cold, no longer a stay-at-home Hoosier canine. The only lasting results of her long spring break were a slight accident in her bark and the permanent loss of her American Express card.